I was listening to Czech radio, and then when I drove back across the German border and I finally heard German radio again, it was like just, and heard the German language, it was just soothing to me.
Hallo, Servus, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Felicia. I'm originally from Munich, Germany, but I have been living in Cincinnati, Ohio, off and on since 2016. And as you know, I love talking about culture differences between Germany and the US, and there's another YouTuber who loves talking about those things as well, but he's in the exact opposite position. Maybe some of you know him. His YouTube channel is called NALF. His name is Nick, and he's an American from Portland, Oregon, who moved to Germany in 2016. So the same year I first came to the US. He lives in Schwäbisch Hall, which is close to Stuttgart, and plays American football for the Schwäbisch Hall Unicorns. And him and I had a little Zoom conversation and talked about our experiences, him being an American living in Germany and me being a German living in the United States. And we thought it would be cool to share that conversation with you guys. So we prepared questions for each other, which is why you'll see me look down sometimes, and I also had some notes on my own thoughts. But we actually only made it through half of our questions because we had to hang up before we got to finish it. So we were thinking that if you guys enjoy this, to just watch us talk, we'll link up again and finish our conversation and go through those other topics that we didn't get to cover. So if you'd like that, make sure to let us know by giving this video a thumbs up or leaving a comment below. In the first part of the conversation that you can find on Nick's channel, so just click up here or the link in the info box, we talked about a lot of really interesting things, including differences in social interaction that threw us off in the beginning. We talked about small talk, superficiality, how Germans tell other people what to do, and more. And so for this part, we'll just jump right into the conversation where we started talking about stereotypes of the two countries that we either found to be true or false. And then we also talked about things that each country does better in our opinion. So let's watch it. So what are some stereotypes about Germany that you found true and false?
Okay, stereotypes about Germans that are absolutely true, in my opinion. Germans are very orderly, structured, and follow rules very, very well. That was a stereotype that I had heard before coming to Germany, and my experience here has definitely confirmed that. Now, one thing that is absolutely not true, you have this stereotype growing up in America that Germans are just like very serious people with no humor, never smile, never laugh. And I don't know where that comes from, because that's the most false stereotype I think that I've discovered. It's just I think that German people have a fantastic sense of humor. It's a little bit more dry sometimes and a little bit of an acquired taste, but I think the stereotype that German people aren't funny and don't have a sense of humor is complete nonsense. It probably does. Our experience of Germans growing up, aside from, it's all just like World War II stuff and World War II movies and how they're portrayed. And I think also that's why German has a reputation in the States as being kind of like a harsher language, is because when we're hearing German growing up, it's like from Nazi speeches, and that's it. But then if you hear German being spoken in a normal way, it's, I really like it. It's like a calming language to me.
Aw. That's nice to hear, because I wouldn't say that German actually sounds nice. It doesn't sound as harsh as in the Nazi movies. I still wouldn't say it sounds like a beautiful language like French or Spanish, but I'm glad you think that way.
I can remember one time I was in the Czech Republic, and sorry to people in Czech Republic, but I was listening to Czech radio, and then when I drove back across the German border and I finally heard German radio again, it was like just, and heard the German language, it was just soothing to me. So I don't know if that was just because it's something that I gotten used to or because I actually like it, but I definitely don't hate it.
Okay, wait, what did you say about what was oh yeah, the whole rules thing? So I was wondering, what's a good example for that? When did you first see that Germans really do love to follow rules and be orderly?
My favorite one is driving on the Autobahn. And I'm curious to hear what you think about driving in the States. Or do you drive in the States?
Yeah, I do. And I'm going to publish a video on that soon, or maybe when this is out, it's already published. And I also talked about the whole Autobahn thing in my last Q&A. So that's a topic that I just recently talked about.
So I would say the best example that I can just think of right now is people driving in the left lane. In Germany, people follow the left lane is used to pass. You don't just park in the left lane and drive, right at the speed limit. You're always using it to pass, and you get back in the right lane. I feel like people in Germany follow that rule very well, and for the most part, if you're popping in the left lane, you're checking your rear view mirror often, and you're getting back over to the right lane as soon as possible. In America, there'll just be a minivan in the left lane going 55 miles per hour and just being like, I'm going the speed limit, and just not following this flow of traffic rule. That's just a drastic one for me that really bothers me when I get back to the States. And I think that's my favorite. Yeah, I freak out when I have to drive on the highway in the States now.
Yeah, but I feel like it's not as big of a deal here just because everyone's more or less driving the same speed. Whereas in Germany, there's just, especially when there's no speed limit, it's just huge differences. Like some people will drive 100, like the trucks will drive 100 kilometers per hour, and then there's gonna be some Audi or BMW driving 250. So you kind of have to have it separated over the lanes.
That is a great point. But I think that even if there were those large speed differences in the States, people still wouldn't follow them. There'd just be a minivan there just bothering me.
Should I go into stereotypes about the US?
Yep, let's do it. Let's hear which ones were true and which ones were false.
Okay. Honestly, I feel like most of them are true. But it's just because there's a lot of positive stereotypes that I had on my mind about the US. So I think it's true that Americans are very positive. I think it's true that they're very optimistic, enthusiastic. It's also true that they're kind of obsessed with guns. Not everyone, of course. But honestly, before I came here, I expected it to be not nearly as bad as you would see in media or as you would hear from people. And then I came here and it's actually just as bad. There have been several shootings on campus. I had to seek shelter. I was never trained to do that in Germany because that's not a thing. We don't know how to behave when there is a shooter. Those were all mostly false alarms. So just someone with a gun who shot in the air, but still that counts as an active shooter. So that's something that is actually true, in my opinion. And then that Americans drive everywhere.
Yeah. Okay. But to defend that, America, you can't walk how you can walk in Europe for the most part. You have to drive.
But the thing is, I live in a neighborhood where you can walk and people still decide to drive.
Okay.
Also that just Americans don't see walking as something that you do for fun. Whereas I really enjoy walking. I miss walking. So I sometimes purposely walk to the store, even though I could drive, but I want to walk. Yeah, and then what's false? That Americans are all fat. That sounds so rude to say. But honestly, yes, I know that that is an actual issue in the States, and most people who are really obese are not even out there, so you wouldn't even see them. But at the same time, it's really not, even though I'm in Ohio, I'm in the Midwest, it's really not as bad as I assumed before I came here. There's just as many really built and really skinny people here as in Germany. So
I'm glad to hear those things.
Yeah. And also the whole, what we said earlier, the whole everything superficial thing, and there's no realness here, I find that to be false. I do still think that there are certain superficial situations here, but I do have real conversations with people, so that's definitely not true.
Shall we go into what do you think Germany does better than the US? I tried to think of something that I don't see very often, so it's a little bit of a weird one. But I think Germany does a better job. In the States, if you're not going to college, university, you're looked down upon. In Germany, to me, it seems like there is a higher value placed on going to the middle track of school. Which was that? Is that Realschule?
Yeah.
Not go to university, but you'll get a trade education, and these kind of jobs are valued and not looked at with a certain negative light that I think happens in the States. If you're going to go to a community college in the States, oftentimes it's just kind of looked down upon. I think Germany, and those are super important jobs that you can make a very good living doing. And in the States, it's everywhere. You have to go to college or university or you're a loser. And I think Germany does a good job at emphasizing that is not true. There are a couple different paths that people can follow and be successful and happy.
Yeah, I never thought about that. That's a good point. Well, a lot of people who do Ausbildung, so like it's not even trade school, it's like this 3-year thing, right? A lot of those people make a whole lot of more money than people who went to college.
Really?
So, yeah. Like, depends on which field you're in, and also depending of course, like what you go to college for. But if you go to college for like humanities or, social sciences, you're probably not going to make as much money as those people who started working in like a big company at 16, 17 and worked their way up.
So what do you think?
The U.S. does better than Germany.
Well, I can only think about like the typical points that every person usually mentions. So like healthcare system for sure, public transportation, some things about houses. So just
What's that?
the walls are thicker, they're insulated better.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The front doors are way more secure, even though we don't really need that in Germany as much. Windows, I think we do better.
I love German windows. I do love German windows. I agree with you there.
And I wrote down one more thing, but I can't read it now, so I'm not sure what that was supposed to be.
Oh, what, you can't read the handwriting?
Nope.
All right, that's good. Those are good ones. Did you say the walls are thicker?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is the argument everybody makes. I have a couple of my most popular videos are me complaining about the lack of air conditioning in Germany. And that is the major argument that people leave in the comments is you don't need air conditioning in Germany. You're not, these flimsy built houses that you have in the States. These are thick walls and it traps the cool air in. So I believe you. I believe you that is true, but I still get really hot in my apartment. So.
Yeah, it really depends on where you live too. But if you lived in a house, so like I grew up in a house in Germany and I live in a house in the States. And like this house I live in right now is definitely like a good example for like an average American house. It's just poorly insulated. Like one time in the winter, our heat broke. And it got really cold within like 2 hours. And in Germany, we do have heat waves in Germany. And like in my house in Germany where I grew up in, it does get really hot upstairs, like in the attic and everything. But when you're downstairs, it really takes a few days for the heat to come inside.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. All right.
So in my experience,
Fair point.
That's really something that I do not experience with houses here. Also, there's like this cliche that in the US, first of all, you can hear a lot of things through the walls too. And second of all, you can actually punch the wall and punch a hole into the wall, and you cannot do that in Germany.
What were you going to say about the cliche? What were you going to say?
Oh, that's like a cliche for me, or like some kind of movie topic that you see Americans punch the wall and there's a hole there, and that you can't do that in Germany.
My brother actually did that in his room. We have a big hole in our family house, so I can confirm that is a true cliche.
I know, a friend of mine did that too.
Punch the wall and whoops.
See, yeah, there's no way I could punch a hole in this wall. No shot.
Yeah, those are my points.
I like those. Those are good. Wait, what does the U.S. That was what Germany does better. What does the U.S. do better than Germany, in your opinion?
In my opinion, the things we've covered, like definitely friendliness, but also customer service, for sure. Convenience, just that you can really get anything you want any time of the day, any day. Like stores aren't closed on Sundays. And I'm from Bavaria where like stores close the earliest within all Germany. So like they close at 8 p.m. So if you have a normal job and you just want to get groceries after work, you really have to hurry or you have to do it on the weekend. It's really annoying.
I miss that. I miss, that convenience.
That's a big thing. And one more, this is like what American people do better, is be relaxed, I feel like. Americans are way more relaxed with a lot of things, and Germans are more uptight.
Okay, elaborate.
Really, it's with a lot of different things. Like, I personally see it on the road, but I'm also in the Midwest, so you wouldn't see this in New York City driving. But, like, driving in the Midwest, people are so relaxed. Like, I come back from Munich, and I'm, like, adapted to the Munich driving again. And I notice myself driving up super close to the person in front of me at the stoplight. I, like, speed up aggressively. I slow down aggressively. But people here, they're just, like, going relaxed, and then they slow down when they go around the curve. They're all, like, no hurry.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely agree with you on that. I think people take driving, seriously here, and where I'm from, Oregon, is a super chill state. Like, I will never honk my horn, ever, no matter what, basically.
It's not just that, though. Like, Germans take a lot of things seriously, and I feel like Americans are relaxed, but like there's things that just aren't as important in life, like just small things in your free time that aren't a big deal. Like, it's not always a big deal when someone breaks a rule, but Germans seem to always think that everything's important, everything's serious, and that's something that I feel like.
Yeah.
Would you agree with this statement? Okay, because I agree with that. I think that, yeah, Americans are a bit more relaxed and laid back when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think, however, that German people are better at relaxing than Americans. Like just leisure and kind of enjoying life.
Okay. I'm not sure if I would agree with that. Okay, so there's one thing that I would say where we are better. So a lot of Americans like to say, we're always in a hurry. We don't have time for taking time to eat. We don't have time to do this. We don't have time to do that. Which, like, I feel like there's just a shift in priorities between Germans and Americans, because Germans are like that when it comes to a lot of things too. Just they're like that with other things. So Germans are in a hurry on the street. They're in a hurry when they walk. They're in a hurry when they're on public transportation. They're in a hurry when they're at the store. They do not like to take a long time at the store. They want to get their things, go to the checkout. They want it to be just as fast as at Aldi.
It's the German efficiency. Yes.
Yeah, efficient. Be efficient. Germans hate it when you to waste time on things that are necessary. Whereas I feel like Americans are not annoyed with this. Like, Americans don't have a problem with driving slower, don't have a problem with just walking somewhere slower, don't have a problem with taking an hour at the store. But then on the other side, when Germans go to eat at a restaurant, we love to take our time because we like to enjoy that experience. We like to take our time when we meet our friends. Like, when we meet up with a friend, we usually plan to spend the whole evening with them and not just an hour or two. And that's something where I see the difference. Like, Americans then like go to eat and only plan in 20 minutes, 30 minutes to spend at the restaurant because they feel like, oh no, we're in a hurry, or like they get the coffee to go. And also sometimes when hanging out with friends, it's like possible that the friend is going to leave after an hour.
Yeah, and do a quick goodbye.
So what was your initial question? It was like,
I said Americans are more relaxed, but Germans are better at relaxing. I guess I'm thinking like, say, for example, the Sunday culture in Germany, where everything's closed and like, you know, that's reserved for, you know, relaxing, hanging out with family, like eating and stuff like that. It's just a leisure day. And I think there's more of an emphasis on that in Germany than there is in the States.
Yeah, that's true. So the thing is with Germans, we are in a hurry, but whenever we decide to do something social and we decide to relax, then we follow through with it. Like, there is no going to the restaurant and only spending 20 minutes. Like, if we go to the restaurant, because like usually we don't go because we need food. We usually go because we want to go there for the experience. So then like, we'll do it all the way and we'll spend 3 hours there.
For sure. Whereas the Americans will just be like, I'm going to the restaurant to eat food, and if I'm done in 20 minutes with my burger, I'll see you later.
Yeah.
What do you think is something that the US does better than Germany?
I think that high school sports is one of the coolest things ever. Having your high school experience intertwined with athletics is one of the coolest things about going to school in the States. Having your classmates come to your games and stuff like that, wearing your jersey to school and having like school spirit. I think that's an awesome thing. And just the fact that sports are not connected with school here. It's all like club, I believe, for the most part. And that's just something that does not exist here. That's something that Germany is missing out on, and the U.S. does a good job of.
Yeah, totally agree. Also, like something that the U.S. does better that just comes to mind that you mentioned this is patriotism. Even though, like, obviously there's different history backgrounds here, but I do sometimes find it sad that Germans really feel like they can't be proud of anything. We do have a lot of things to be proud of, but we're just like, we don't feel like we can be proud of that, and the US is very proud.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that. I love Germany. I'm like, one of my recent videos was called "I'm Proud of Germany" or something like that, and the comments on that were just like, oh my gosh, it's amazing to hear that. Like, I'm German, I feel like I can't say that I'm proud of my country. I'm like, I know there's some level of American patriotism that is a bit obnoxious, but there's room in Germany to be proud. This is a country that does a lot of stuff well, and I feel like people maybe feel like they can't feel proud of that or shy to do it. So that's a bit unfortunate to me. And so I will speak up and I'll say that I'm proud of Germany. So I don't have any shame.
Yeah.
Aw, thank you for being proud of Germany. So we had to hang up after this, but we still had questions about what we miss about the other country, differences that we still find strange to this day and just can't get used to, which country we'd raise our kids in, and how our personalities have changed since living in the other country. So if you'd like to see us talk about those things, let us know by giving this video a thumbs up or leaving a comment. By the way, as you can see, I'm in a different setting today. I'm in my sunroom, which is where we also recorded the conversation. And I don't usually record videos here because the glass doesn't really provide any good insulation, so you can hear pretty much everything that's going on outside. But anyway, make sure to watch the first part of the conversation on Nick's channel NALF, and also just check out his channel in general. He has awesome content on there, very creative, funny, and informative. Subscribe to him, and of course subscribe to my channel too if you're not a subscriber yet, and activate the bell to get notifications anytime I upload a new video. Also check us out on Instagram, and I hope I'll see you next time. Cheers!